Simple, approachable, actually good fall dinners that'll save you time and money. We're counting down my top 10 fall dinner ideas to make life easier, tastier, and a little healthier in today's video. So let's get cooking.
Okay, let's start the countdown. Coming in at number 10, this one-pot caramelized shallot and thyme pasta is an all-in-one, cozy, comforting dinner I make when I have no energy to make something complicated. You'll need olive oil, ground pork, salt, pepper, shallot, garlic, dried thyme, brown rice pasta, chicken or veggie broth, and coconut milk to make this one. This recipe uses 5 shallots, which I know is a lot, but after cooking them down, they become so sweet and flavorful and really bring all the depth to this recipe. The only veggie chopping needed is thinly slicing all those shallots and mincing 6 garlic cloves, and then it's time to get cooking. Preheat the oven to 400 degrees. In the meantime, we're starting the process by sauteing a half pound of ground pork in a large pot or Dutch oven. Once that's browned all over, set it aside, and then in that same pot, in the oil from the pork, we're sauteing the shallots until they're nice and soft. Stir in the garlic, 2 teaspoons of dried thyme, a teaspoon of salt, and a half teaspoon of black pepper. Continue cooking until it's nice and fragrant, then turn off the heat and add 16 ounces of gluten-free pasta, 32 ounces of chicken broth, and 3/4 cup of coconut milk. Stir in another pinch of salt, cover the pot, and transfer to the oven to bake for about 25 minutes. Or until the pasta is cooked. The cook time can vary depending on the brand of pasta that you get, so keep an eye on it. Once the pot comes out of the oven, let it rest for 10 to 15 minutes, then stir in the ground pork, top it with some parsley if you'd like. It's so simple, so cozy, and so good.
So good, so cozy, and just like satisfying. You want to sit on the couch and devour it.
Coming in at number 9 is roasted garlic, cauliflower, and tomato soup with crispy quinoa. It's a sheet pan soup that comes together super quickly. It packs in a ton of veggies, and if you haven't tried this one, you're gonna love it. You'll need cauliflower, Roma tomatoes, carrots, garlic, yellow onion, quinoa, olive oil, oregano, salt, pepper, chili powder, vegetable broth, and cannellini beans for this recipe. There are a few veggies to chop for this recipe because it is truly veggie packed. We're using a whole head of garlic for this recipe because we're roasting it on the sheet pan. It's gonna get nice and sweet and flavorful, and I just love a roasted garlic recipe. It adds a ton of flavor to this soup. We're gonna toss all those veggies with olive oil, dried oregano, salt, black pepper, and chili powder. Put it on a sheet pan, spread it out into one single layer so everything cooks evenly. In the meantime, we're gonna make our crispy quinoa, which is the topping for the soup. It's very simple to make. You just cook your quinoa first and then add it to a sheet pan with a little bit of olive oil and salt. Roast that in the oven. You could do this at the same time as the vegetables are roasting. Now, once the veggies are looking nice and toasty and brown like this, it's time to blend everything. We're adding a can of cannellini beans, and that's gonna add protein to the soup. And then all of the sheet pan components, the garlic, you wanna carefully squeeze all those bulbs into your blender and then blend it up until it's completely smooth. Taste, add additional salt if you'd like, and that's how easy this recipe is. It's truly just a sheet pan meal. You blend it up, and it's so cozy. It's freezer friendly. It's an amazing fall recipe to make. And the crispy quinoa on top is my favorite part. So if you have the time, definitely make it. It adds just a really great texture and flavor. And then you have a really big portion of a veggie packed soup that you can eat throughout the week or keep in your freezer.
The garlic is there for sure. The crispy quinoa just adds a little bit of that crispy element. Like, it depends how you want it. If you want to mix it in like I did, you get little crispies as you're taking a bite, or you can just leave it on top and get that more of like a topping. Delish.
Number 8, another very simple and quick weeknight dinner. Creamy greens, beans, and sausage skillet. This recipe includes 2 types of proteins in it that I use all the time. For this recipe, you're gonna need olive oil, ground pork, ground sage, yellow onion, garlic, oregano, salt, pepper, crushed tomatoes, cannellini beans, coconut milk, and kale. Only veggie chopping needed for this recipe is dicing up some garlic and onion, so it's super quick. Everything happens in one skillet, so it's an easy cleanup meal, so flavorful, and a ton of ways to serve it. We're first gonna saute a half pound of ground pork in a skillet. If you want to bulk up this meal a little bit, you can go for a full pound or even a pound and a half. You have some sitting in your freezer and you want to use it up. And then once that's all cooked, we're going to set it aside, and in the same pan, saute yellow onion until it's a little bit soft and translucent, and then add our spices, our garlic, oregano, salt, and black pepper. Once that's nice and fragrant, we're adding in the crushed tomatoes, the cannellini beans, and coconut milk to make it nice and creamy. Once that starts to simmer a little bit, we're adding in the chopped kale, let it wilt down, and then adding back the cooked pork. That is just how how easy this meal is. Everything comes together so fast. You've got your protein, you got your greens. It's filling. You can serve it with a nice crispy piece of bread if you're into that. You can serve it over pasta if you wanted to make it more like a sauce and thin it out a little bit more. Either way, it's amazing, and another freezer-friendly one that I just love for an easy fall dinner.
Oh my gosh. It's creamy, it's savory, it's flavorful. It's just so perfect.
Number 7 in our countdown is a recipe I make all the time, even when it's not fall. It's my maple cider tofu with sweet potato mash. If you're not normally a tofu lover, I really want you to try this because I want to know what you think. You're going to need tapioca flour, olive oil, garlic powder, a block of firm tofu, salt, pepper, chili powder, dried rosemary, vegetable broth, apple cider vinegar, coconut aminos, maple syrup, and sweet potatoes. We're starting with the sweet potato mash, which I use 4 medium sweet potatoes for. Bring a pot of water to a boil and then add the sweet potatoes so they can cook until they're fork tender. In the meantime, we're cutting our firm tofu block into small cubes and then mixing that with tapioca flour, garlic powder, salt, and chili powder. I like to coat my tofu in tapioca flour, especially when I'm roasting it in the oven, and it makes the tofu really crispy and yummy. Once the sweet potatoes are tender and ready to drain, you just want to mix in a half cup of vegetable broth, a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of dried rosemary, a teaspoon of salt, a half teaspoon of black pepper, and a 4th teaspoon of chili powder. Mash that up really well. Set that aside until the tofu is ready. We're going to glaze our roasted tofu in this apple cider vinegar and maple syrup based sauce that's so yummy. Bring that to a simmer and then cook for about 10 minutes until it's reduced in half. Salt to taste, and then that's it. You've made your really delicious mapley cider glaze. It's so good. Then to plate it up, we're mixing the cooked tofu with the glaze. We're serving it over the sweet potato mash. The maple and the apple cider vinegar give the best flavor to tofu that I don't always use on tofu. I normally go more of a sweet and spicy route. It's so delicious. It pairs really well with the sweet potato mash. And for the tofu skeptics out there, I want you to try this.
Oh my God. Wow. This is my favorite tofu that I've ever made. It has a little bit of spice to it. It's just amazing.
Coming in at number 6 is my sheet pan autumn quinoa salad with shallot vinaigrette. This is a fiber-packed meal that I love, especially for meal prep because it holds up really well in the fridge. The shallot vinaigrette is so delicious, and you can really customize the salad to be what you like or use up what you have on hand. But you're gonna need quinoa, garlic powder, salt, black pepper, olive oil, chili powder, dried rosemary, dried thyme, maple syrup, apple cider vinegar, sweet potatoes, garlic, kale, shallot, carrots, chickpeas, and boneless, skinless chicken thighs. The process starts by cooking your quinoa and then getting your sheet pan components ready. 2 medium sweet potatoes cut into small cubes, and then 3 large carrots cut into small cubes, a shallot finely diced that's going to be used for our shallot vinaigrette, and a garlic clove minced, which will also be used for the vinaigrette. To this sheet pan mixture, we're adding a can of rinsed chickpeas and then half of a spice mix that you're going to prep ahead of time. The spice mix includes those spices I mentioned: garlic powder, salt, rosemary, thyme, and chili powder. And then we're also going to coat the chicken in the remaining half of spice mix and add it to the sheet pan as well. You want to spread that out. Try to make sure nothing is overlapping, at least as much as possible, and then let it bake for about 30 minutes. While that's baking, we're going to make the shallot vinaigrette, which includes the minced shallot and garlic, salt, black pepper, apple cider vinegar, maple syrup, and then olive oil. Combine all of those ingredients and whisk really well, or add to a jar and shake really well. And then we're going to pour that vinaigrette over our kale. Let it break down a little bit while the veggies and the chicken are finishing roasting. And then when it's ready, you're going to transfer everything from the sheet pan into the bowl with the kale. The cooked quinoa goes on top, and then it's just mixing it all up, coating everything in that really delicious vinaigrette, getting all of the components evenly distributed, and then serving it up, or if you're doing it for meal prep, storing it in the fridge. It's gonna get even better as it sits.
So good. It feels so hearty and dense, but still like just makes me feel good even taking a bite because I'm tasting and seeing how many veggies are in here.
Recipe number 5, you've probably heard me talk about this before. It's my creamy pumpkin rigatoni with rosemary breadcrumbs. It is just fall in a dish. It's gluten-free and dairy-free. I make it every single year in some variation. For this recipe, you're gonna need salt, pepper, olive oil, ground sage, garlic, vegetable broth, shallot, raw cashews, gluten-free rigatoni, pumpkin puree, rosemary, gluten-free panko, and nutritional yeast. And of course, if you're not gluten-free and you're following along, you can use regular rigatoni, you can use regular panko panko breadcrumbs, whatever you need. The recipe starts out by soaking 3/4 cup of raw cashews, and soaking the cashews is just gonna soften them. I cover them in boiling water. This is really gonna be the creaminess of the dish, and we're gonna blend it up in the blender until it's nice and smooth. Cashews are one of my favorite dairy-free swaps. While that's soaking, I like to prep the rosemary breadcrumbs, which just includes a 1/2 cup of our gluten-free panko, 2 tablespoons of fresh rosemary, and a 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. To get them nice and toasted, you're gonna heat a tablespoon of olive oil in a skillet, add that breadcrumb mixture, and then toast until it's nice and golden and fragrant, which is about 3 to 5 minutes. Then set that aside, and we're gonna prep our components for the creamy pumpkin sauce. We're gonna heat another tablespoon of olive oil over medium, add our diced shallot, cook that until it's nice and translucent, about 2 minutes, add in the minced garlic and cook for another minute. It's gonna add a lot of flavor to take that step of sauteing the garlic and the shallot. We've let those cashews soak, and now we're adding them to a blender along with that shallot and garlic mixture, broth, pumpkin puree, nutritional yeast, salt, black pepper, and ground sage. That gives it a really nice fall flavor. Blend that up on high speed until it's completely smooth. Add the sauce to your cooked rigatoni. Give it a really nice mix so everything is well coated and saucy. Serve it up and add those toasted rosemary breadcrumbs on top. This is an incredible recipe no matter what, but if you are dairy-free, this sauce is kind of life-changing.
Oh my gosh, this is gonna be a new go-to pasta for me. I love how we actually have protein in here. It's so good.
Coming in at number 4, this is going to be a surprise to no one. It's one of my all-time favorite recipes. I even put it in my cookbook because I love it that much. It's creamy, dairy-free mushroom and wild rice soup. This recipe already has a lot of dedicated fans, and I love that so much, but I need to highlight it here anyway because it's just that good. You need to make it this fall. For this one, you're going to need salt, black pepper, olive oil, garlic, wild rice, carrots, yellow onion, vegetable broth, nutritional yeast, tapioca flour, thyme, coconut milk, white mushrooms, coconut aminos, kale, and parsley. This is a soup that has kind of a long cook time. I'm just gonna say that up front, but it's a lot of inactive cooking, so don't get scared when you see the cook time. The wild rice just takes a long time to get tender. So the process starts by sauteing the veggies. We have a lot of veggies going into this soup, which we love. We have onion and carrot, then we have our sliced white mushrooms and garlic, and we're gonna saute it for a while, like 15 to 20 minutes altogether. Once all of that's nice and soft, we're gonna add our salt, thyme, and black pepper, and then keep cooking that until it's nice and fragrant. And then we're stirring in 2 tablespoons of tapioca flour. This is to make it thicken. And then we're also adding in a whole 1/2 cup of nutritional yeast. It probably sounds like a lot. I've tested this recipe. A 1/2 cup of nutritional yeast is the correct amount. It's really good, and it adds an incredible cheesy flavor. So after that's all stirred in, we're gonna add in our vegetable broth, water. You could add more if you want a thinner soup, a whole can of coconut milk in here too, and to add a little bit of that umami flavor, coconut aminos. And then our rinsed wild rice. Here you can see I'm using a wild rice blend. I've made it before with just wild rice, so whatever you can find or whatever you have on hand. Now once the rice is nice and tender and the soup is looking like this, then you just mix in the kale, let it wilt down a bit, and then that's it. You have this amazing fall soup that everyone's gonna love. Meat eaters, vegan, whoever it is, it's amazing. This one's a great freezer-friendly one as well. This recipe is in my cookbook, Don't Think About Dinner, that's coming out January 13th, 2026. It's coming up. And if you're watching this and you're loving these recipes, you will love Don't Think About Dinner. You can pre-order it now, and I have the link in the description of this video. And save your receipts because I'm gonna have bonus content that you're only gonna be able to access if you pre-order the book. Go pre-order Don't Think About Dinner now.
It honestly is just the best soup. It's just so good. Like there's no better soup.
Number 3 on our list is my Sweetgreen inspired Harvest Bowl chickpea salad. It's such a repeat recipe of mine. I had to rank it high on this list because I love it so much. For this one, you're gonna need salt, black pepper, olive oil, wild rice, kale, garlic powder, balsamic vinegar, Dijon mustard, maple syrup, sweet potato, red apple, chickpeas, and goat cheese. Like the title suggests, it's inspired by Sweetgreen's Harvest Bowl, which is a salad that I love, but I wanted to find a way to make it at home and make it more meal prep friendly. And I wanted to add some plant-based protein, so I swapped the chicken for chickpeas. It's a little more affordable that way. Of course, it's more affordable to make it this way than buying it out. Now, roasted sweet potatoes are a big part of the Harvest Bowl at Sweetgreen and a part of this recipe. So I just first start by doing that. I'm gonna toss it with some salt and pepper and olive oil, put that in the oven, and let it roast while we're prepping the rest of the salad. Now, speaking of the actual salad, we've got a whole bunch of kale, chickpeas, cooked wild rice, the roasted sweet potato once it's done, and then we're gonna add in our apples and our goat cheese. The balsamic dressing really takes this recipe up to a 10 out of 10 in my opinion. Simple, but so flavorful. You want to blend it up for a while until it turns into that lighter brown shade, and then add it to the salad and toss with all of your components until they're nice and coated. As I'm showing it here, it does make really great meal prep, and it makes really good portion servings. It's a recipe that always keeps me full and satisfied. It has a ton of fiber, ton of seasonal ingredients. It's perfect for this time of year, whether you're prepping it or you're making it for dinner. Number 2 on our countdown is my roasted cauliflower and lentil bowls with green tahini sauce. And it's another plant-based recipe that's making the top list. I really love making veggies taste so delicious, and I hope these recipes are showing you that. There's so many amazing ways to eat vegetables. These bowls are one of my favorite ways. For this one, you're gonna need tahini, olive oil, lemon, green onions, cilantro, garlic, salt, black pepper, lentils, cauliflower, carrots, garlic powder, dried oregano, smoked paprika, red pepper flakes, jasmine rice, and kale. Make the green tahini sauce, which includes tahini, olive oil, lemon juice, green onion, cilantro, garlic, salt, and black pepper. Just blend that up until it's nice and smooth, and then set that aside so you have your sauce ready. In the background here, we're also going to be cooking the lentils because we're going to roast them on the sheet pan after they're cooked so they get nice and crispy. Add the cauliflower and the carrots to a large mixing bowl, and then toss with oil, garlic, oregano, paprika, salt, black pepper, and red pepper flakes. Transfer all of that to a big sheet pan, spread it out into an even layer, and then bake until the cauliflower is just about fork tender, which is about 20 minutes. After those 20 minutes, you're gonna give everything a toss on the sheet pan, and then add in those steamed lentils to the sheet pan, spread it out into an even layer again, and then continue baking until the cauliflower is crispy, the lentils are crispy. That's gonna be about 15 to 18 minutes. Now, while all that's baking, we're gonna cook our rice, and when the rice is all cooked, we're mixing in the kale directly to the rice. If you're using it again, you could put it on the side if you don't wanna use it, but then it wilts down the kale and then makes it a little easier to chew. When all the sheet pan components are done, you're gonna serve that over the cooked rice and kale mixture, drizzle that delicious green tahini sauce on top, and then top it off with chopped cilantro and sliced green onion. This is the definition of a veggie-packed meal that is so not boring and really, really craveable. You can store all those components separately in the fridge for the week, make it a meal prep. Definitely give this one a try this fall.
Oh wow, there's so many different flavors working here. I need one more bite.
Okay, number 1. I don't know if you guys were expecting this one because there's so many fall recipes that I love, but I ended up choosing my creamy tortellini soup with chicken sausage because it's a go-to meal for me. I make it for everything, so it keeps me full and satisfied, and I crave it all the time. For this one, you're gonna need salt, black pepper, olive oil, kale, crushed tomatoes, garlic, yellow onion, nutritional yeast, ground Italian chicken sausage, chicken broth, cannellini beans, dried basil, red pepper flakes, oregano, and fresh tortellini. I use gluten-free. We're gonna start the soup by sauteing our ground chicken sausage in a large pot or Dutch oven until it's nice and browned all over. I use the cased raw Italian-style chicken sausage. You can usually find that at different grocery stores. You can also use pork sausage. You could use pre-cooked sausage links if you wanted to. Any kind of sausage that you like, feel free to use, but I do like an Italian sausage for this. Once it's browned all over and a little bit crisp, set it aside, and then in that same pot, we're gonna saute our garlic, basil, oregano, salt, and black pepper. Can't forget the red pepper flakes too. Once that's nice and fragrant, we're gonna add in our cannellini beans, our crushed tomatoes, and 32 ounces of broth. Now, the really fun part about this recipe is I actually take out some of that mixture, add it to the blender, and then blend it up until it's nice and smooth. And the reason that I do this is because the beans blend up into this creamy mixture. Like, there is some sort of cream in the soup, but it's literally just blended beans, so it's giving you extra protein and creaminess. It's one of my favorite soup hacks and probably the reason why this soup is a number 1. So we've transferred that back to the soup, and then we're mixing in our tortellini. Tortellini is super quick cooking. I can link the brand that I use in the description here. So that just takes like 3 to 5 minutes. Once all the tortellini has risen to the top, we're gonna add in that cooked chicken sausage, our kale. That's it. It's a really, really quick soup, really high payoff for what it is, and something that I made all last fall, and I will definitely be making all fall this year. And if you're looking for another variation, I did just recently make a butternut squash tortellini soup with sausage. I did that in my 10 days of fall dinner series over on Instagram, so check that out. Okay, this ranking was honestly very hard to do. I'm curious what your ranking is, so let me know in the comments, what are your favorite fall recipes, whether it's mine or somebody else's or your own. I always love hearing what you guys are making in your kitchens, but let's do the countdown of all 10. At number 10, we had our 1-pot caramelized shallot and thyme pasta. At number 9, we had had roasted garlic, cauliflower, and tomato soup with crispy quinoa. 8 was our creamy greens, beans, and sausage skillet. 7 was maple cider tofu with sweet potato mash. Oh my gosh, I love that one so much. 6 was the sheet pan autumn quinoa salad with shallot vinaigrette. 5 was creamy pumpkin rigatoni with rosemary breadcrumbs. 4 was my iconic creamy dairy-free mushroom and wild rice soup. 3 was the Sweetgreen inspired harvest bowl chickpea salad. 2 were the roasted cauliflower and lentil bowls with green tahini sauce. And then number 1 was creamy tortellini soup with chicken sausage. Thank you so much for watching another one of my YouTube videos. I love doing this countdown. I can't wait to hear what you're making in your kitchen. Let me know what you try, and I will see you guys next time. In case you missed it, my debut cookbook, Don't Think About Dinner, is finally available for pre-order. It'll be out in January of this year, and you can go secure your copy now. Don't Think About Dinner is going to teach you how to save time and money with over 125 easy, nourishing, and delicious recipes for every meal of the day. I cannot wait for you to see everything inside. There are 12 weeks of brand new meal plans and so much more. So go pre-order. The link is in the description.